Welcome to Vintage Lens, where we uncover the strangest inventions history has to offer, from steam-powered robots and vibrating slimming belts to coffin life indicators and amphibious bicycles. These bizarre creations once promised innovation, but today feel eerie, impractical, or just plain fascinating. Stick around as we dive into these curious contraptions, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a look through the lens of the past. Edison's phonograph, talking doll. Year 1890. Thomas Edison's short-lived talking doll contained a tiny phonograph inside its torso, one of the first attempts to put recorded sound into a toy. The surviving photos show the doll's mechanism. The doll was fragile, expensive, and widely considered creepy, which helped doom it commercially. Rolls-Royce flying bedstead. Year 1954. This skeletal jet-powered VTOL test rig, nicknamed the Flying Bedstead, was built to study vertical lift without wings. The photo captures the ungainly open frame and pilot seat, a brilliant but odd-looking experimental step toward vertical flight research. Early permanent wave perm machine. Year 1905 to 1930s. Inventor Charles Nessler's salon and machines introduced commercial permanent wave systems. Period photos show women hooked up to large metal frames and hood-like heaters, a visually striking and awkward beauty technology that would evolve into modern perms. Pneumatic tube postal system. Year 1897. This photo and object pages show the metal canisters and tube terminals used to send mail at high speed through underground pneumatic networks. The images illustrate a once futuristic city infrastructure that hurled letters, and once even a cat, beneath city streets. Spinal carriage and electrically propelled invalid chairs. Year 1900s to 1930s. This is known as invalid carriage, and early battery-powered chairs show inventors' efforts to motorize mobility for the disabled. The machines look ornate, heavy, and highly mechanical compared with today's compact wheelchairs. Human centrifuge, aviation G-force testing rig. Year 1950s. Large human centrifuges used in mid-20th century flight medicine look like giant rotary arms with a gondola at the end. Photos show technicians and test subjects near the imposing apparatus used to study acceleration, and they capture the machine's intimidating industrial scale. Steam Man walking contraption. Year 1868. A startling 19th century photograph of a life-sized steam-powered man built to pull a cart. A true steam-age proto-robot by Dederick and Grass. The image and patent show a top-hatted mechanical human figure driven by pistons and levers, a real-world precursor to later walking machine fantasies. Battle Creek Health Builder. Year 1925 to 1935. Vibrating belt machines promised passive slimming and therapeutic vibration. Subjects would lean against a motorized belt that shook their hips or abdomen. Photo shows a man posing with the contraptions, an iconic and now dubious wellness fad. Baby cage, window-mounted infant cage. Year 1934 to 1940s. A device used by apartment dwellers to hang a wire or chicken wire cage outside a window so babies could get fresh air even without a yard. Thought healthy at the time, it's jarring now because of obvious safety risks. The fad lasted for several years until safety concerns grew. Atmospheric diving suits and giant helmets. Year 1900 to 1935. Photos of heavy copper helmets, canvas suits, and early atmospheric diving suits show how inventors tackled underwater work. The helmets and articulated suits look bulky and bizarre today, but were essential engineering for salvage saloon, and early undersea exploration. Life indicator for coffins, patent illustration. Year 1882. This is an illustration of a patent by John Crichbaum for a device meant to prevent accidental live burial. It has a mechanism involving handles and a periscope-like tube, so someone inside the coffin could signal movement. The dial visible above ground would show if there was motion inside, and air could be admitted if needed. Cyclomer Amphibious bicycle. Year 1932. Part of an album of weird inventions curated by the National Archive of Holland and shown via Flickr. Amphibious bicycle, cyclomer, a monowheel motorcycle, radio in a straw hat, a pram with loudspeaker, and more. Many items are functional experiments of novel ideas, but often impractical. Amphibious scooter, experimental flying bicycle. Year 1920s to 1960s. The image shows British attempts at unconventional inventions. A Lambretta scooter adapted to be amphibious, flying bicycles, early videophone prototypes, side-by-side tandem bicycles, portable hairdryers, and other odd-looking contraptions, meant largely for novelty and experimentation. Portable extendable bridge, Netherlands. Year 1926, invented by Edison in the Netherlands, this is a portable bridge that collapses into a pushcart-sized pack for transport. Meant for emergency use, the photo shows the bridge in folded or partially unfolded form, demonstrating clever engineering for mobility and rapid deployment. Snowstorm mask. Year 1939, a plastic face protection device designed for snowstorms. The mask is cone-shaped, intended to shield the wearer from wind and snow. It looks odd to modern eyes, as vision would be limited and fogging likely, but the idea reflects early efforts at weather protection gear. Desk bed. Year 1913. A hybrid furniture piece from 1913 that allowed a schoolboy to use it as a desk during classes, then fold or transform it into a hammock-style bed. It illustrates early experiments with multi-use furniture for space-constrained use or perhaps novelty. Electrically heated vest for traffic police, USA. Year 1932. Early wearable tech, a vest that could be electrified or heated, intended for traffic police to be comfortable in cold weather. The power source is described as coming via street-embedded electric contacts, a fairly ambitious infrastructure requirement. It illustrates ideas of integrating electricity with clothing long before today's heating vests. Radio hat, USA. Year 1931. A straw hat integrated with a radio and antenna to allow wearer to listen to broadcasts hands-free. Probably as much novelty as practicality, but clearly an early step towards wearable audio devices. The photo shows the hat with its external antenna, illustrating the bulky form factor of early radio tech. Pram with loudspeaker and antenna. Year 1921. A baby carriage with built-in radio capability. Antenna and loudspeaker fitted so presumably to keep the child soothed or entertained as they ride. Looks odd now, as the carriage is much more complex and heavy, shows how inventors experimented with combining mobility and audio tech in kids' gear. Mechanical soup cooling spoon. Year 1948. A spoon attachment or mechanism purported to help cool scalding soup while eating. The photo shows a man using it, likely to avoid burns or discomfort. A clever idea, but possibly over-engineered compared to just waiting a minute. See-through boats. Year 1941. a small rowboat made or partly made of lucite or similar transparent material, allowing the occupant to see the water below. Novelty and recreational in spirit, impressive visual effect but likely difficult to maintain or costly. Vibrating electric bra, spiral electric bra. Year 1971. A bra fitted with an electrical vibration mechanism marketed to develop and strengthen bust while worn, purportedly usable even during work. A mix of fashion, body technology, and marketing hype. Looks bizarre now. Monopod seats, portable single-leg chairs. Year 1953. Chairs consisting of a single leg support that could be carried and used almost like a walking stick, then leaned on for rest. Practical for brief pauses outdoors or travel, though stability and comfort are questionable. Automatic tip requester. Year 1955. In 1955, inventor Russell E. Oakes made a device combining a cash box and an artificial hand that would request tips automatically. No sale, would show if tips were inadequate. A gimmick device with clear marketing or showmanship flair. Private nuclear bomb shelter, year 1958. A photo of a bomb shelter built for domestic use, claimed to accommodate 8 to 12 people and protect them even if a 20-megaton bomb exploded nearby. Reflects Cold War fears and public interest in home defensible installations. A dramatic example of invention driven by anxiety. Wooden bathing suits. Year 1929. A rigid, likely wooden bathing suit meant to make swimming easier, or possibly to assist buoyancy or coverage. Probably uncomfortable and impractical, but striking visually. Example of how early 20th century inventors experimented with materials. Dashboard coffee maker, year 1950. A device mounted on a car dashboard capable of holding water for 3 cups of coffee, also marketed as usable for heating water for soups, eggs, or even shaving. Clearly built for novelty and convenience, though safety and efficacy likely poor in a moving car. Schienen Zeppelin, Rail Zeppelin, year 1929. An experimental high-speed rail car in Germany built by Franz Kruckenberg. It looks like a cross between a train and an airship, with a large propeller at the rear, like a Zeppelin's. It set a land speed record for piston rail vehicles, approximately 143 miles per hour, though it never entered regular service. Shoe-fitting fluoroscope. Year 1938. A device used in shoe stores to check how well shoes fit by exposing feet inside shoes via X-ray to a fluorescent screen. Customers looked through viewing ports to see bones and toes inside shoes. Widely used in the 1930s to 1950s before health concerns over X-ray exposure led to its phase-out. Electric bath at the Light Care Institute, year 1900. A photo showing a woman inside an electric bath, early light or electric therapy device, at the Light Care Institute. It's like an early version of a sunbed or light therapy chamber used for health cures rather than tanning. Strange because of its futuristic and mythic air to modern eyes, reflecting early belief in electricity or light as medicinal agents. Dynasphere, giant monowheel prototype. Year 1932. A huge one-wheel vehicle with the driver seated inside the wheel's rim. An eccentric attempt to reduce a car to a single rolling hoop. Photographs show the Dynasphere being tested on beaches and at Brooklands. It looked futuristic but proved almost impossible to steer reliably. Human cannonball, zucchini. Year 1877. Historic press and agency photos capture performers being launched from specially built cannons, a daring entertainment invention that mixed spring and compressed air engineering with circus spectacle. The images are dramatic. performers mid-flight, nets and catching crews waiting below. Amphicar Model 770, year 1961. A convertible car that also floats and is propelled by small propellers in water. Photos show the Amphicar half in water, half on land. It's an oddball mass-produced amphibian vehicle, charming, unreliable in seawater, and emblematic of mid-20th century novelty engineering,